So this is what you actually know. But this is the base of our presentation, just to show you how the application works. So what we have to modernize. We have to modernize three things, and inside these three things we need to reach three goals. So we have a 9-piece matrix we have to fulfill, and we need for every piece of that matrix a green hook. If we don't get this, we are definitely the modernization of the UI was not successful. So what are the three things? Actually, three things are menu. Then, of course, we need a solution for subfiles. And of course, we need a solution for our detail forms. And inside this, we need to change three things, you remember? The first thing is we need to change the design. But honestly, this is the less important thing, actually. If it looks different and it does the same than before, it's not a modern application. So we have some competitors, they do deliver, oh, now you have everything in a web browser. Yes, but it looks the same. Do I have more information? No, but it runs in a web browser. So the modernization is it runs in a web browser, it looks like before and behaves like before. So what is it good for? We just need some extra money to run the project. We need some extra money in infrastructure and web servers and stuff like this. But this is not another UI. So the second thing we need to change the paradigm, how to use the application. There is an international standard paradigm. By the way, it's not SAA. That paradigm you find in your smartphone. You find on your Windows desktop. You find on web applications and Windows apps. How to use an application. If you have to write a book or give a training to a user how to use your application, you are completely wrong. And the third thing is we need to add value to the application. We need to add value to the user and add value to the company. So these are the things we need to deliver. So now I do a huge step. And I'm going to show you how this application looks like in a web browser, for example. So let me ask the first question. The first question I usually hear on customer sites is, what are our future devices? Do we want to have everything on mobile or tablets? Do we want to have everything on web browser, or do we want to have everything on desktop Windows apps, for example? So, and if they ask this, I tell them, I think maybe this is the wrong question. So definitely you need a modernization system, you need a technology to support every device. A desktop PC, web browsers, not just one web browser in version November 2019. Every web browser has to get supported. This is a huge problem in the market. You have a solution in JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML5, something looks quite good on your Google Chrome, but try in Safari, Opera, Firefox, maybe on BlackBerry or an Android 5 device. So that's the problem. But this is what these guys are telling you. We have web browser solution. So and after 2 or 3 months, they say, maybe it's better to use Chrome everywhere in version like this. And if there is an update coming from your web browser, pray. Maybe you are lucky, sometimes you are not. And you have a huge effort to keep your system running. And you cannot deny if you have an internet connection, all the web browsers are updated automatically. You cannot stop this. So that's why we go a very new way to deliver software in a web browser. By the way, we just need to open one port. This is a security issue. We just need to open one port from the web browser to the server. And the server is talking to our core system. I don't like a web browser talking to my IBMI, because this is the heart of my infrastructure. And I don't like to give access from every web browser. Do you know what happens when you run a JavaScript or TypeScript HTML5 application? The web server is sending, what the web server does is sending the source code of your entire application to the web browser. And if you just install the downloadable plugin from Chromium to debug, and you can start debugging and see, I can have a SQL selection over there, and there is a nice entry for me. I can do everything. So this is not the way. So in Germany, we deliver to customers. They are working for German Air Force. We deliver to Frankfurt Airport. I know German airport is maybe at the moment not the best example, because we have some trouble to finish the Berlin airport. But we do not work with Berlin airport. Nobody works. Even the airport does not work. So, and we are delivered to customers are working for a Eurofighter, for Airbus. So they do not allow that technology. It's not certified. And it's getting harder and harder to certify HTML JavaScript technology. So let's go back to our little sample. Next question I hear, so what browser do we want to use? So now it's your choice. I have for you the old Internet Explorer, Edge, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and Safari. 2 choices. What browser do you like? Chrome. Everybody can Chrome. This is not a challenge. Okay, you get Chrome. Another one. Opera, Safari? Safari, okay. Safari on Windows. Why not? Why not? If it does not work, I made a big mistake. So I just connect to my server from Safari, and so it's the same server, and I log on over here with my Arcot user, and in Safari I log on with another user. You will see why in a second. Okay. Okay, now what you see is exactly the same application in 2 versions. The same application you have seen. If you compare with the green screen, you will see these are all the same menu items with the same description, but they look totally different because we need to change the design and we need to change the paradigm how to use them. So we do not like to tell the people, where's my green screen? Over here. We don't like to teach the people type number 2 and press enter, things like this. So if we go to our new application, it's very simple. I click on that list, and in Safari I like to use my touch screen. I touch over here and I have the list as well. So why, let me go back touch, touch. So why it looks like this? So for this, we do have our Auto GUI configurator. And you see over here we have some rules, how we like to change the design and behavior of the menu. So in that case, we have maybe this one, customer demo 2. In case the text contains or equals or starts with the text customer in lowercase, please use from my central repository the customer JPEG, the back color to light gray, front color to dark gray, and width and height is 0. That means if you leave that empty, the system is using the default. Over here, the default setting. So that's it. That's the way it works. And so we set our rules. Why we do it that way? Let me ask you one question. We are talking about UI modernization since more than 20 years, right? Why it's not finished? No. Yeah, maybe that's one reason. So for the Russians and the US guys, it was possible to fly to the moon within a few years. But why it's not possible to put a graphical UI on the green screens? So the answer is there are too much. It's too much. Every system, you can take every existing UI modernization system. It's no problem to modernize 20 screens or 50, maybe 100 if you have a little team. But we are talking about millions of screens worldwide. On every customer side, they think about modernization. Because honestly, if I have 20 or 50 screens, maybe it's the better solution to make them new on another system or with another programming language. 20 screens shouldn't be a problem to recreate. But we are talking about, we do have customers that have 10,000, 15,000 screens. And a screen is not a screen. If I have subsidiaries, in that subsidiary for this user credentials, the screen looks like this, and it looks different for something else. So if you start, maybe you take a team from India or China, and let them work. So how long does it take? Maybe 2 years. Okay, it's not impossible, but what happens in these 2 years? You are going to change your screens. We are working agile. User does not wait for 2 years to ask for new things. So that's why we need an auto GUI. And by the way, an RPG programmer does not like to learn JavaScript or whatever language. He is an RPG programmer or COBOL programmer on I. And what he likes to change his program, maybe change something on display file and test in a web browser, how does it look like in auto GUI? So that's the way we work. And that makes a lot of sense. Because in other cases, you need UI programmer guys, and you need a project management to tell the UI guy before you deliver to the user or to the customer, you need to change your UI modernization because I changed some display files. So this is not an agile process. It's too slow. Too many errors, too many traps we can step in. So that's why we do it that way. We have a rule definition. We can create every rule we like. And immediately every menu got changed. Every menu, even the system menu. System menu, F16, Office tasks, IBM Access tasks, copy database. So I go to somewhere. And you see everywhere it's the same. The header is modernized. The F keys are changed to buttons, so that I can use the touch screen or the mouse. And here I have a new design. You can customize this design as well. And you can go back. So you do not need to explain somebody how to use that UI. So everybody knows. You say, don't tell me. I can touch the screen. I can work with that. Okay, let's go back to our Safari. Thank you for challenging me. So now you see two things. Here we have the iNow demo portal, and here is iNext demo menu. So in that case, we have two modernizations of the same system. One is for English or maybe Italian speaking people. We go to the list and we take one customer, maybe this one, and you see, oh, it's Chinese. Maybe a Chinese is a little bit rusty. This is Chinese, and it's exactly the same you see over here. If I go inside this, no, sorry, any record. So this is customer number, first name. Trust me, because my Chinese does not exist as well. So of course, by the way, if you are working for an international company, or maybe you are working in Switzerland, some people Italian, German, French, it could be difficult to deliver the same application. We did not change anything on IBM i. We do not work with message file. If you already work with message file, no problem, it will work as well. No problem at all. But we can translate on runtime of the application, and we can do some more. So in that case, I go to the record number 10 in Safari, and I try to go to the same record in Chrome. What happens? Oh, it's blocked. Of course, it's blocked in RPG. Now I need to wait 60 seconds and stuff like this. Or I go to the Safari browser and leave the record, and now immediately I can continue work here. No matter where the browser is used from, maybe from Latin America, from the North Pole, or wherever, in whatever language. How to administrate. You remember the Auto GUI configurator? I get back to the Auto GUI configurator because there are some more lists. One list is translations. And you see over here translation. And now we're going to show you how, I don't need to show you how to translate. Here is the English word or Italian word, and here's the Chinese one. So now we like to change the translation. And we are a worldwide operating company. System runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So how we do deliver the software? We do not need to reinstall because we have a Roslyn implementation on .NET. So Roslyn implementation on .NET means this is the base technology for artificial intelligence. That means the system is always changing its own code. That's why we are so flexible. So in case let me damage this. So now I delete the Y. So if I push this to my UI repository, the UI repository is somewhere in a cloud or on integrated file server. It's just a directory with information. Okay, if I run the session next time, it will be translated, or if I give it to my user, I can give them a refresh button, and if he clicks the refresh button, you see it's translated on the fly. So we do everything what we do, if you like, on runtime. So maintenance even without leaving the screen. So if I change it back, oh no, wrong keyboard, city, save, and refresh, you see immediately back to Chinese. If I like to change this, so this is one of my Italian words I know. Sorry, I need to change to the German keyboard. So this is to teach the Chinese guys a little bit Italian. So we just press OK, and we are going to refresh, and now it's like this. If I go to another application, having the word name as well in one of the labels, you see over here, it's already translated everywhere. So now I give you another sample. If we go back to our sample application, maybe we're taking this record, you see some surprising things. So one of these is, here we do have a telephone. And here we do have an email button, and we do have a web browser button. Here we have a calendar immediately. And here we have a yes-no toggle switch, and here we do have a lookup. There is more than one way for this automated modernization. One way is, in some cases here, is content related. So if there is a valid phone number, automatically give me a phone, valid number of valid email address, valid web browser address. This construction in trailing label, character equals description, character equals description, gives you this everywhere, and this is of course customizable. So our consultants from WSS are going to set up a workshop with you to collect your rules, how your application usually works. And then they are customizing that rules, and then you just need to use those lists. Plus, we have an access to analysis. So we are analyzing what is inside, what is behind the display file. And that's why we can change the field types in that list, for example. So in case what is a good example? Yeah, maybe this. In case the key web, the word web, is a reference field. You know, you have your screen, and you have your display file behind, and sometimes you reference on database field. And everywhere you have an input field on the screen from now is reference to the physical file field with the name web. Everywhere you have the web button from now. On every screen, even in Word. So if you create a new display file tomorrow or maybe next year, you will get immediately the change of the field. And you can do everything. You can filter the field. You can do something like this. You see if we have, for example, cast.no in leading label. So we can ask for leading label, trailing label, display file field name, or reference field name. We can use library file if you have, if you like to do different things for another library. So in that case, we like to have a selection button. The lookup type is not value, but SQL. This is the SQL select. This is the field from the resulting field from the SQL select. And if we press OK or double click, please send immediately an enter. to automate the process to go to the next screen without any extra effort. So where do we find this field? We find this field on that screen. You see again, character equals description, something like this. Now looks like this. And here, this is the Chinese translation. You remember our translations? This is the Chinese translation for cast.no. So, and in that case, we like to have a selection field using that definition. And the selection field immediately gives us access to SQL. And if we press OK, oh, just a second, I need to take some of this first. So if I press OK, we take the cast ID, put into that field, and send, enter, and go to the next screen. That's it. On every screen, even in the world, reference field, customer ID, item number, whatever, we do have that selection button from now, forever. Even on the screens we are going to create next year. So, this is what we can do with the Auto GUI. In some particular cases, as I told you in the beginning of the presentation, the screen-by-screen idea is not working for hundreds or thousands of screens. It takes too long. Maintenance problem, project management problem. So that's why we use the Auto GUI. But in some particular cases, we like to have a form designer to do particular things to our application. Maybe we like to change this. We like to add more information. You remember? We need to add value to the screens. And therefore, we do have a form designer as well. This is this one. And we can take this screen. This is the cast PGM screen. Okay. So what we want to do, we like to see a picture of the customer. So for this, I press Control. We just drag and drop and make a copy of the field. So if I'm going to apply and my user is refreshing his web browser application, immediately we do have the customer ID twice. Sometimes it makes sense if you have tab controls and we like to have the customer ID on every tab control. But in that case, I promised you to deliver a picture. We can change the type of that control. That's why the class name is flex control. And in that case, we like to have a picture edit. And the picture edit does have a loader. There is a global variable called picture. There is the directory, integrated file server, or cloud, or whatever, shared folder, wherever. And value in that case is 1. .jpg. So there is somewhere a repository with pictures, 1 JPEG, 2 JPEG, things like this. So that's all. So we apply and ask our users. I go in Safari, do the same. I go to next user. You see in Safari, okay, no, it's blocked. Sorry, I go one step forward. So in Safari, I need to refresh, and then I see the second. Oh, I don't know what the problem is. Or maybe it's out of view. So I go to refresh here, and we see the picture. If okay, yes, we change the repository of the Chrome version. It's the same application on green screen, but we do have 2 repositories. I'm gonna tell you why a little bit later. We can have as much repositories as we like. because maybe later for the smartphones we like to have another screen because we have another resolution. Maybe it's not very readable if we do the same, exactly the same thing. So now if we move forward over here, another thing is performance. Do not take away two things from our IBM I user. The first thing is, do not take away his keyboard, his F keys, even F16 and stuff like this. We leave it. It still works. And do not take away performance. And I press F7 and hold the key, and you see this is the performance of our UI in a web browser. So you can ask every web browser or modernization company to give you a performance like this. They will not like that question. So what else can we do? I give you two more samples about screen capabilities. One sample is I do make another copy, and I like to see some statistic data. So I change the type to a data grid. The data grid does have a loader as well. You see, select from physical file where cast ID equals the current value of our cast ID. So it's that simple. And we dock to the bottom, give it a better size. Let's try. And from now over here, you see a data grid with statistic data. You can get this data from your IBM I, of course. You can get the data from another LPAR IBM I. You can get the data from a SQL server, from a web service, whatever you like. The customer does not know, and honestly, the customer does not care where the data comes from, but he likes to see the data on one screen. Not, I need to open my SAP financial program and copy and paste or typing, and I like to see immediately. And I show you one more thing, because we are on a conference about UI modernizing and open source. This framework is open source framework based on .NET, and we have a very nice, I can size up for you this. We have a very nice editor implementation with syntax highlighting, code completion, snippets, and I prepared a snippet called chart exactly for this presentation. So, and now you see flex chart 1, does not exist in current context. So the compiler runs permanently, giving you the error message immediately if you do something wrong in programming. So how to fix that problem? So we need a flex chart. Go to the designer, take a chart from a toolbox. Look at this. If I drop the flex chart, immediately the error disappears. So now the code is clean, it will work, we can apply. So, but let me give the chart a better size. We dock, because we like to have, of course, a responsive layout. That's why we are docking things to the bottom or to the left or whatever. And now we apply. Let me give this a bigger size. And if we refresh our web browser application, from now we have the statistic data and we have a nice chart. And even the animations of the chart do work in your web browser. You can zoom, whatever you like. You can print, you can export, send PDF, whatever.
Okay. Before you go forward, avete intuito la potenza dello strumento? Ci sono delle domande che magari, oppure delle perplessità o delle cose? Perché quello che ha detto lui prima è il fondamento di tutto. Se noi pensiamo di fare modernizzazione e di avviare un progetto di modernizzazione che duri degli anni, lasciamo stare. Noi dobbiamo avere un prodotto così potente da consentirci di effettuare modernizzazioni di migliaia di screens nel giro di mesi, un mese, 2 mesi, 3 mesi per le cose più grandi, perché la parte principale dello strumento è il motore che mi consente al cambiamento di qualcosa all'interno dei vari repository di avere da tutte le parti le cose cambiate. Questa è la potenza dello strumento. Adesso vi farò vedere tante altre cose, ma il concetto principale è: perché non abbiamo mai portato a termine veramente dei progetti di modernizzazione? Perché non abbiamo mai avuto uno strumento sufficientemente potente da consentirci di fare queste cose. E soprattutto, se non sono in grado di prendere completamente quello che è lo stream 5250, non potrò mai andare fino in fondo a gestire quelle che sono le caratteristiche posizionali, del colore, di tutto quello che voglio all'interno di un'applicazione modernizzata, quindi nella parte locale. Se avete delle domande, se c'è qualcosa di poco chiaro o di particolarmente tecnico, lui può rispondere tranquillamente a tutto.
Everything was very correct what you said. Meanwhile, I opened the desktop version. So the desktop version gives us the ability for a better integration. The desktop version gives us the ability to use more than one monitor on my desk to move information to another monitor. This is not that good possible in a web browser, but it's the same. So what we have done, we changed the, you see, we have the Italian translation of the name, and we go, it's the same concept. We go over here in our application, and you see we already have the same features. And of course, if I go to, what was the record number? If I go to the same record number, 12, the sessions are blocked and waiting for each other. Everything works the same. So the next thing is mobile. So how we can put this on a smartphone. To illustrate this, I show you the server behind. This is the web server. So the web server is watching all my sessions. Now you see I have actually one session with the arcade user over here. So what I have to do, this is in our Chrome web browser. So if I so I open the same application in an Android app, and you see over here, there is another session, and that session is connected to an Android client. So, and this is maybe not for you good to see, but it's the same. It's the same application. Even if I go to customer ID, no extra effort. You see, I move forward, and oh, it's blocked. So it's record number 1. Let me check. Somebody is blocking record number 1. So if I release the record by moving forward, you see now on my smartphone I have access to the record. I have full implemented control for every device. It works on iOS as well, of course.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Yeah.
Questa è l'altra cosa che vi prego alla quale vi prego di prestare attenzione. Se per qualsiasi device io debba dedicare del tempo per progetti di modernizzazione, perché il device fa da driver verso la modernizzazione, saluti. Vuol dire che ogni volta che io introduco un aspetto nuovo nella mia infrastruttura, e succede, perché i tempi cambiano, perché le mode impongono, perché cambiano i manager, eccetera, eccetera. Se io devo pensare di far girare la stessa applicazione su un device diverso e non ce l'ho, devo fare una manutenzione straordinaria. E allora ho perso il concetto della modernizzazione. Se vogliamo avere successo nei progetti di modernizzazione, tutto deve avvenire e deve essere a disposizione indipendentemente da quello che aggiungo, o come applicazione, perché eredita tutte le caratteristiche che avete visto prima, o perché introduco un nuovo device.
Okay, if I like, now here on the big screen, I'm the administrator, and I have full control, even on the Android devices. So probably if I say, I don't know that guy, I log off, you see the app on the smartphone get closed as well, or the web browser page is closed. So let me reconnect, because I can do some more things. So now you see the session is back. If somebody in the world does have a problem with his app on iOS or tablet or whatever, I can, as an administrator, I can offer him to help. So I switch on remote control, and here system is asking me, do you confirm? Yes, I do. And now I have a shared session with my smartphone. If I go to System, Menu, Office, Task, Decision, Support, maybe go back and back and back. And maybe I go to this dialog, and I like to read this that number with a barcode. I activate the barcode scanner. Yeah, and if I read the barcode, okay, I can see the barcode here as well. And I can send him a message, I can help him. Okay, this is wrong, this is not the right path of the application. Better you go to here and go to change, and you have all the translations on every device as well. You see name and nome in Italian, everything on the smartphone. So every browser, in every version, on every device, in a native app, on iOS, Android, whatever, and on a desktop client, with one effort, auto GUI for every screen, not screen-oriented, but field-oriented modernization. We can. Okay, I don't know how much time I do have, but definitely this is a good opportunity for you to ask some questions.
Okay. On every screen you've seen, maybe that's a possibility to inject some code. I've seen you use C# before.
Yes, on every screen.
To change the behavior, maybe.
Yeah. So the auto GUI itself, it's an open source framework based on the iNow technology, and you can do your own things. If maybe you don't like the
Or if you want to integrate some external application to this.
Yeah, I search for a good example. Maybe on the smartphone, maybe that items were not big enough. I like to change that, and I do not have a list, but I have access to a C# developer. This is the advanced on the fly part of the system, and inside this I have the F key builder, This is the custom F key builder. And you see here we give it a better size. We size up this to 70. 70. Of course, I need to know where to do it. And if I go to where I'm in. Yeah, I need to refresh here. And you see now it's bigger on every screen. And maybe I can recognize I run on a smartphone now, I run in a web browser, I run on a desktop. So if I'm on a smartphone, size is 7070. If I'm on a web browser or desktop, size is 3030 something.
You said you can be in the manual repository for screen, right? So maybe I want to take I want to use a repository for mobile application instead, another repository for external customer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can have a repository for an external customer, and you just take some fields away. You don't like to let him see those fields. You just make them invisible, and he cannot see.
Can I mention anonymization? Just to...
Yes, for testing, but it's not installed on this. I'm sorry. No. But there is a, if you like, there's a video on our YouTube channel, and there you can see how we do anonymize field content on the fly without changing the database. On the fly on the screen for testing and developing, you have encrypted content of the field.
Se voglio fare tutto questo lavoro e ovviamente sono connesso anche alle applicazioni 5250, è ragionevole pensare che io venga a contatto con dei dati sensibili. Sappiamo qual è la problematica dietro a queste cose qua. Basta attivare lo switcher sulla modernization on the fly e tutto avviene su dei dati criptati. Quindi posso fare la anonimizzazione sicuro che quando la metterò in produzione andrà sui dati reali, perché corrispondono, diciamo.
Any further questions?
Question. We speak about the possibility to make a big migration in few months, a couple of months. But how is it possible? I've seen a strong process to edit the web graphical view of the application. But for example, I can set the connection, if I understood well, between different system items. Okay, so I do not use a solution in the display file anymore. So I have to rewrite some web view. Okay, how can be faster this process in 100 display files? I think about. Why is faster? Why? I have seen other applications, and I know that there is a conversion sometimes. And there is the possibility to edit them also with some photo and so on. Okay. I think what I have seen that is very strong. This process is a good process about
you can ask in Italian, so and Luca can answer in Italian if it's easier. Maybe for the audience as well.
Una buona no, non risponde, affidabilità.
Okay.
Okay. And but I don't understand why it's fast. Come può essere veloce?
The question is so why this? If I have to convert it to 2000 display files, why this product is so is fast? Why we define fast
this way of changing too much?
Yeah, we do not. Usual products do change the design screen by screen once. We change the design when we use the screen. So we get a screen from IBM i, and we do have the rules, and every screen you see, we build dynamically on runtime.
And how I can put an image in I have an object in the application that will connect the image. This environment is to be written. Display file for each display file once, but it's to be written.
Yeah, there are two ways. One way is you inside the automated process. You can have particular screens you like to work screen by screen. So everything runs in AutoGUI, but in some cases you can create a field extension as well. So in that case, you see over here, in case cast ID is a referenced field, please add a new rule called document. And another rule is called picture. And this is the path to the picture with the value to the documents. And if you run the system on every screen having the referenced field cast ID, you will see the picture plus the document. I'm gonna show you. So if I go to here, I need I need to start a little analysis server. So you remember the screen we have seen? If I go to the screen now I activated the rule with the picture and the document viewer. And if I go to record number 6, now you have a picture and the document viewer. But this is a part of the automation process because we activated that rule. And what we do behind the rule type document, behind the rule type picture, behind the rule type individual customer search program or whatever. You can do your own things in a C# programming language once and just connect this to the referenced or display file field name, and it runs on every screen immediately. So you see here now we have a thing called document viewer, runs in our web browser. If I double click, and there is one picture of our very happy customers. We have a lot of them. All our servers are full of pictures of happy customers. So, any further questions? Roberto's waiting already. But you wasted the time before in the round table. So, but you can tell me when I have to finish. Okay, I'm fine with 5 minutes. 5 minutes for questions.
Can you show also the integration with browser? Have you got into the demo?
Yes, this is very interesting. So I'm here in.
We spoke about picture, we spoke about documents, but maybe I can open an internet page or.
Yeah, this is very interesting. If I go, if I now I'm inside a browser, and I like to see another web application. You see what happens. Now, nothing happens. Okay, it takes a while. Now we do have a browser inside a browser. In this browser, there is a Chromium engine, a full-featured Chromium engine. In this browser, we do run our web applications, but this browser is RDP connected. So the browser outside is not connected to our web application server. So we just get the image of the browser. We cannot copy the URL and manipulate the URL. We cannot try to do some SQL injections. We even do not know the IP address of the web application server. It's not very relevant in case of showing a public website. Public website we can open in our browser as well. But if you have a very relevant internal web application, so we already did with, I don't know, whatever, it's secure.
La sicurezza non era comunque un uso che internet, lo facciamo girare all'interno dell'applicazione e non andiamo a prendere comunque una connessione HTTP diretta. Tu utilizza l'RDP come protocollo, per cui 2 sono le porte aperte, tu open ports for RDP connection e l'RDP può manda solamente anche il delta delle informazioni, una porta o 2 per quella sicura. Manda solo il delta delle informazioni grafiche che andiamo a visualizzare, non è un flusso continuo di dati e comunque abbiamo anche un canale molto più snello nel momento in cui appunto andiamo a utilizzare la connessione di un desktop proprio.
So this is protect your web application servers the same way, and this is what our customer with a very high secure level do accept. So they are working.
Last question.
Yes, concerning communication between the server and client. I mean, I see a subfile, a table. Okay. I want to download that as an Excel file.
Puoi fare un Excel, CSV, PDF, in formato testo, in formato TIFF.
1 minute. 1 minute for the Excel download.
No, è una funzione molto la problematica è sempre stata il fatto di avere un solo subfile o dello spazio limitato così là. Qui possiamo andare ad avere, a caricare magari un'intera tabella, un intero subset di subfile in memoria e poi avere le informazioni che ci servono, oppure caricare più subfile ma avere una sola view. Una sola view dove posso andare a fare dei sort concatenati, quindi custom ID, item ID, quantity, per cui posso andare a fare appunto dei lavori e posso andare ad esportare il risultato